together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
By the skin of your teeth. I was gonna start giving people a hard time in the chat.
It was telling me that was weird coming in this time. I don't know. It said I can't. I didn't try to share it to any of my channels, quote unquote, but it told me I couldn't.
You should be able to share it to your channels.
That was telling me I couldn't, but that whatever. It is what it is.
Do you have a Restream account?
No.
Then you can't restream to other channels.
Then it shouldn't tell me I can't. Because I can't.
It's all screwed.
I know.
You're preaching the choir, bro.
I understand.
Ahead, dude.
I just posted the new flyer.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's in there.
It's in there. It is. It is. In fact, this is what we will do. Then we're gonna go here because I'm gonna screw around a little bit because Bren may join us. Oh, there she is. Oh, Clara's joining us. That's who it was. I had the name wrong. Hello, Clara.
Hello.
Do people ever get stupid and tell you, call you Clarice or anything?
Yes. Or Claire.
Claire.
Hope you're feeling better, Amber. I can't see anything. It's a black screen.
I don't understand this one. I've never been on this before.
At the bottom, you got a microphone. You got a video camera.
I see that. Oh, this is just like a Zoom.
It is. And then you're gone.
So nothing. Be back. This is what happened.
There she is. Oh, there's gone.
Peekaboo. It's because her video went.
Peekaboo.
Because people come on and press buttons because we're alcoholics.
I gotta try to figure it out.
And Amber came up with the topic. I don't mind. Go for it. Go ahead and screw around. I don't mind. Yeah, it's not like you can cut the video or something. But here, here's a new one. Here's a new one. This is a background. We'll keep that.
That's pretty.
We got 3 people. Stuff doesn't work when there's 1 or 2. It doesn't work quite right. So, but topic. Oh, I haven't even shared to Facebook yet. The topic is how to stay spiritually fit during the holidays. So pretty much every AA topic for the next 2 months. But I started on it first.
There's a reason. There's a reason there's more birthdays in January than any other month.
That's right. January is our busiest month.
My birthday's January 17th.
Yeah.
There's an example.
Yeah. Nudge from the Judge, detox, holidays, all sorts of stuff happening. One more time.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Yep.
That's a biggie.
There's also one point when spring hits that we lose a lot of people because the sun.
Cabin fever.
Yep. I mean, yeah. These are all. So that makes this a very legitimate topic. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. We also have Daryl here today and Clara Joyce. So DNDCJ. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. We do have somebody from YouTube here, and that would be Amber. Because I didn't have the overlay on. There we go. That's where you'll see the chat.
Right.
Yeah, I sent Amber a message that said, I would say we are live, but nobody's here. And I said, I am live. I'd say we are live, but nobody's here yet. So that's why she said Daryl's here.
I can actually see the chat down below if you hit that center icon.
Yeah.
It looks like a chat box.
Yep. So
because what's written up above when you put that chat up there is too small for my ancient
Is it?
eyes to read.
yeah.
But I'm
But
on my phone, so that's
yeah.
relative.
Well, on your phone, it's gonna be a much different view. You're both on your phone, so I can tell because of the view, because you're skinnier than me.
Yeah,
Is your
that's
video
I
skinnier?
think that's the first time I've ever heard that. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I don't know who would be yeah. I don't know who would be the lightest one here. We're all kind of hefty. Hefty. You're great,
I
Nikki.
used to
You're
be a
great,
cinch
JJ.
sack. Now I'm a hefty. That's fucked up.
It's better than a hangover. That's all I can say.
Amen.
Right? So, Clara, what are some of the secrets that you use to not kill your fucking family during the holidays? Because that's really what we're talking about. How do we stay sober and happy, joyous, and free?
Well, for me, I have to, being quiet is my best defense,
Okay.
especially if I'm realizing that I think I know or my way's better or something. It always begins with my thought pattern. So somebody could be talking about something that I really have a lot to say about, but I just won't say anything because it wouldn't be helpful. I don't know. I have this thing that hangs in my office right here, and it just says that let everything you say be good and helpful. And so,
That's a nice reminder.
yeah, I read it every day because I can be, you know, I can be. There you go.
Yeah.
And especially with, my children, they might be expressing something that they're doing in their life, and I don't want them to be doing that. Like, we live in a state that marijuana is legal, and my youngest just loves the pot.
Yeah.
I mean, he just does, and I understand,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. We do get it.
it's absentee in your mind for me, and I don't. I guess the first thing is for me is I don't talk about my recovery unless they ask me a question
Yeah.
about it.
That's a good rule.
That's huge because my family is still ill as well as I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody saw, I just posted it. My mom has 40 years of sobriety today.
Really? I did not
Yeah.
see that. No.
I don't think she listens to these anymore. I don't blame her because, you know how it is. Things from your own family can be triggering, man. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way, when it comes to, because my family is probably my biggest trigger, and not into necessarily drinking, but into a bad attitude, into not feeling like I belong. My blood family is not my family. My family is Alcoholics Anonymous. It's the fellowship, and a lot of people do it that way. Last week, my sister sent me a message. Hey, we're thinking about doing Thanksgiving, and I was thinking, I'm like, you haven't invited me in 5 years, which means you're not going to see your father, which means now I'm invited, and no thanks. I'm not second best. I'm sorry if I'm not a priority.
Choose your hard.
That's it.
Pretty much.
How are you, Daryl? What's it like for you on holidays?
And it's like I've been married so many times, so I've had to deal with different families. Seriously, it's the truth. I told you that story. My very first sober Thanksgiving, my mom decided it'd be a good idea for family unity, to invite my ex. And I lasted about, I don't know, a couple of hours. But I had to leave. And I ended up at Putt because they were having a potluck. Thanksgiving potluck and marathon meetings type of deal.
Yeah.
What I do lately is we'll have a small little dinner type of deal and stuff like that. But I'm kind of like Claire Joyce, where at this point everybody knows I'm sober.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite the curiosity as I used to be. So unless they bring it up, I don't bring it up. It doesn't. God has placed me in that position of neutrality. I probably say a special prayer that morning of just say, help me get through this day, level-headed, blah 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 type stuff, because there might be some challenges.
Yeah.
And I get the opposite. Sometimes I'll get I don't know. Oh, we shouldn't have any alcohol here. Daryl's coming.
Yeah.
Attitude. It's like, you know how many liquor stores I passed by to get here? And I don't care. It's like, fine.
You don't need to hide it. We can smell
I'm the
it.
alcoholic.
Right.
You're not. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's my responsibility.
Yeah. You don't need to protect us.
Well, I just make, and that night I make sure I have an escape plan.
Yeah.
I don't go to places where there's going to be alcohol without my car keys.
Well, and alcohol, when I go to family functions, unless it's on Wendell's side, they drink. But my family there's not much drinking at all.
Yeah.
My mom's a recovering alcoholic. But the hard part for me is this. My brothers and sisters sit down and they all hang out, go on vacations with their dad and things like that. So they have all these inside jokes and they're sitting there laughing. And I just got my finger up my nose and it's very uncomfortable for me. So what I give is Mother's Day because I'll do it for my mom. I'll sacrifice for my mom. But, my question is, what's going to happen when mom's gone? Are we even going to talk anymore? But what are some good ways, because we don't want to piss off the family more, right? So let's build some confidence here on reason. Yeah, I can tell you right now, the number one way to get out of anything is explosive diarrhea. Nobody argues with it, and you don't know anybody. And I'm trying to lighten things up a little bit. Is all I'm doing, right? But it works. What's going on, dude? You don't want to know. I gotta go, and just hold your story. I gotta go. Why? Because I'm about to shit my pants, and I don't want to do it in your house.
Yeah, I say it jokingly a lot, but when how parties have phases and you can see the camaraderie all at first when you first get there, then they tend to kind of break up in cliques, and I'm talking about generally speaking.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah.
What I figure it's time to go when I hear the same story the second time.
That's a great indicator. Yeah.
Usually my house is based because I'm the mom and my husband is the dad, and everybody comes to my home and eats the food I prepare.
Okay.
And it was early on in my recovery. I just ask very nicely. I didn't make it an absolute, but I just would rather them not be wet here. I have 3.
That's fair.
And all 3 of them agreed.
Yeah.
I think I'm fortunate because I don't have girls. I have all men. And so where you cook food, they will come. And when they're eating, they don't say much. And so one of my tools that I use is excusing myself. Sometimes I'll text other alcoholics, my girlfriends in the program, or my sponsor even, texting, just making sure that my piece is that I'm saying in my brain, because it's my thoughts that usually get my mouth in trouble. And and then the whole thing can turn into something.
Sure.
But I'm grateful for football because that's what people are around in my home. But
The rest of my family hates football. I'm the only person. I'm so full. What now? So we had, and we've got some good things here. Before we kind of switch gears, I do want to kind of say you don't owe anybody anything. If you need to leave, your recovery is number one.
Yeah.
And for me, it's better that I leave and have to make an amend a little bit later and do my recovery than it is sit there and do that. Now we can get to a point. Go ahead. We'll hear Daryl's, but I want to get to more of a positive, like when we go and we make it better, and we'll get to that after Daryl.
Well, I was single before I got married to Ash for 7 years.
Hi.
And the people that I tended to hang with were bikers, because that's my clan, one of my other clans.
Yeah.
And the majority of them aren't sober. And it is an excuse for a party for them.
Sure.
But they know me well enough because I don't hide the fact that I'm a drunk. Yeah. When I say I'm going to go, I usually didn't get at first. Maybe the first couple times I was like, "Oh no, man, stay," kind of thing or whatever, blah blah blah. But eventually, it just became, well, Mayday's leaving. Yeah, Mayday's leaving. Goon is leaving. Whatever road name I had, but it's like I have no business being there. Right. It's the fun has, and a couple of them were Super Bowl parties, so it's like I don't care. I don't give a fuck. It's like I just don't want to be around it. I don't like wet drunks.
A place to go, just like if somebody new is listening, and let's say you're at the point right now, your family doesn't want you at their house, which we all go through. It's all right. Almost every single AA club has something going on for the day. And you do not even need to be a member. Just go grab a bag of marshmallows or some chips or something and go. And hang out there for that. I plan on going to Vitae. Yeah, I'm going to go to the I'll probably go to I'm going to go to the online meeting, but then I'm going to go to the,
physical billing.
The physical. They're going to have a dinner.
I'm going to go.
I've been to Vitae's a couple of times.
Yeah.
I've been to the morning after potluck, and it's beautiful. I mean, the fellowship is it's good, solid sobriety, and lots of
Christmas. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay.
At Christmas time, they roast a pig. They bury a pig and roast a pig at Christmas time.
You're gonna have to go to that one.
It's been a while. That park. All right.
Yes.
So, because here's the thing, I know Amber, and we got to get to the part where, we got to go. We do at some point. We do need to kind of get to a place where when we go, we're going to make things better, because now we can be of maximum service to God and the world around us. But what are some of the things that we can do to make it better? I'll tell you some of the things that I do. Like I go over to if I'm at my mom's house, I do her dishes. I clean her kitchen.
That's nice.
She loves me cleaning her kitchen.
What I did for quite a few years in a row is I actually went to like Good Samaritan, one of those places that are serving homeless, and helped volunteer there, whether it was filling up plates or cleaning up or whatever. And so for me, that did two things. That reminded me. It got me out of self. And it felt good because I was being of service to others. So
Yeah, the holidays can be a hard time emotionally. And you can certainly, you don't have to drink or not drink to be miserable. I don't, alcohol is not a requirement. And the number one way to get out of your own fucking head is go help someone. Yeah, at
when
least that's what works for me.
when I got divorced or when I left, I was miserable and I was sober.
Yeah.
And so I did do that.
Hmm.
That's when I actually started going and
Yeah.
seeking out. It was usually Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
But I mean, and for me, it was like, yeah, this works. I was all good, and I was full because I could eat as much as I wanted.
Yeah, that's the thing about when you go serve is you get to eat too, and the food's usually pretty good.
It wasn't never bad.
Yeah.
I never had a bad meal.
I've been on both sides of that line. I've been served and I've had to serve, Well, I didn't have
Hi,
to.
Brent.
I do. It's good to see you, Bren. Yeah, there's a lot of things because I think what it really comes down is we're doing something different, and that's going to be hard, especially around the holidays, But we have to remember that well, I have to remember I am my own worst enemy. So therefore, I also need to make the decision to not make it harder on myself. If I wallow in self-pity, that's making it harder on myself. And it can be tough to pick up that 1,000-pound phone and say, I got a lot of fucking self-pity going on here. What's going on, So what are some of the things, Claire, what are some of the things you do when you're in self-pity? What are some things that help you?
Writing thank you notes to people in the
Phenomenal.
fellowship.
Yeah.
Or just, well, in the beginning of my recovery, my dexterity was really bad and writing was hard. And my handwriting has even changed in recovery. And so, and sometimes, you never know, I guess. Sometimes the people in the program get weirded out when I ask for their mailing address. Everybody always thinks you're trying to sell them something or whatever,
Yeah.
or, oh my, you're going to stalk me or something.
What is
But
snail mail? I don't know what that is.
yeah, I make ribbons where I used to drink in my home, and I pray with them and whatever. And I was going to try to make money, and I make them and I send them to people. Sometimes I live AA. I love AA, and it's what I do. After the hospital, that's just what my life was. I had no. I either did this or die. For
Yeah.
me, God at that time was grow or die.
Yeah.
Period. That was God for me,
I,
and
I went through a stage like that. I was
yeah,
just, that's why these started. I started
yeah.
going live because I needed something. I had PTSD and I needed something. I put my address in there.
I get in pity. I'll go on Amazon and I'll take pictures of the shirts and I
Okay.
print the pictures at Walgreens or whatever,
Sure.
this. Um, and I'll send them in the cards. Or, my
Oh,
sponsor has me because my mother passed on the 25th of December, and
I'm
um,
sorry.
it's okay. She's not in an addict frame of mind anymore, and
Yeah.
whatever spiritual growth she did in the program before. I mean, I didn't even know that my mother was an addict.
Okay.
That's how anonymous it was in my family, and so for me, being in pity is awful.
Mm.
And because of my disabilities, and I used to say the first, I think it was like my 8th month is when I started coming out of that. I used to really pour ladles of that shit over my head.
You're like in the
Really,
tub bathing in yourself,
yes,
Betty.
yes. And I was in a meeting one time at the Triangle Club in Longmont, Colorado,
Oh, okay.
and this lady was describing how pity is on the outside of you and what it looks like to other people. And I never ever will forget that share,
Yeah.
because I just had this image in my head. And of course, I'm a fair skinned, and of all this shit going over me. And it was awful. And that's when I think my sponsor said she even seen a shift, because if I sit in, because there was the time I was in a wheelchair. So, I've gone from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane, and I'm working on getting rid of that dang cane. I don't know if I ever will, but it's okay.
Yo. Yeah.
It's okay. That's the thing that switched, that flip is, this is okay. I can handle this.
Yeah.
And that's, my higher power, a power greater than myself. Prayer, serenity prayer. I'm asking for serenity
Yeah.
and the courage just to be in the room with these people that don't know me, and I don't
Yeah.
even know me. Right. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of what I do for pity. Pity is something that it's almost like a shot. It's almost like the road to the liquor store, you
Yeah.
know?
Emotionally, absolutely it
Yeah.
is.
And I can really get in it, but like some other people, I'm still working on that emotional piece of sobriety. I only have a few years, and I am growing up. And sometimes I have to remember I don't want to die.
Yeah. We're alcoholics. Absolutely. We have to remember that.
Pity helps. Meetings help pity. It
Absolutely.
helps my shame.
My car is not starting, and I went and tried it again. Of course, it didn't work. And I came walking in. I'm thinking, well, gosh, I told people my car wasn't working, and nobody did anything about it. And then you're like, well, I'm trying to learn how to walk. Yeah, let's have a little bit of fucking perspective here. See, and I'm going to tell you now, I'm not grateful that I have a car. That's not it. It's putting things in perspective.
I meet a man with no shoes.
Yeah. Carol, what do you
feet.
do for self-pity? Or do you just not have any?
Oh no, believe me. When I have those little bouts of depression, that's usually when it rolls in. Because I go to that dark spot, which is very dangerous for me. I can do the woe is me type thing. I just I tend to post. I mean, I'll put out there, this is this and that is that, and however, then I throw in some gratitude to that. Kind of like the perspective thing, like you just said. It's like, oh, it's Monday and I got to go to work and I got to do this, and it's like, you know what? I have a job. Type of thing, that's when I was working and stuff like that. I still fight that, man. It's like I go dark. When I get into depression, I don't necessarily, and I use depression because they're synonymous to me, depression and self-pity.
Yeah.
When I go dark, I withdraw. And that was an issue when I was with the club too, because that's all, you need to tell us what's going on. And it's like, okay, you can say that, but this is how I am. So I mean, I'll work through it. What I have learned is this too shall pass, that cliche. And it's a reality in my life that I have experienced, that this too shall pass. And so sometimes I'll just write it out, or it'll be, I don't know how to put it. I have a magic magnifying mind, man. It's like generally the shit ain't as bad as I thought it was, type crap. Here's an example. It's like we were moving the stuff, or I was watching the crew move the stuff because I can't do that. But I get these notifications on my phone about what's coming in the mail that day. And I can actually see pictures of the letters and those kind of things, what have you.
It's an old people thing. We like to know what's coming.
Oh, I like to. Well, the part of it is package. Part of it is package tracking and stuff like that. But also, it's like if I'm expecting something, I want to see that. But there was a piece of mail in there, and they took a picture of it, and on the return mail, it said Department of Revenue, Internal Revenue Service, and on the mail-in part was blank. I couldn't see it.
I got it too.
And
never showed up.
It showed up, but all day I'm thinking, put that aside. It's like, because it isn't stuff I need to worry about yet. But yet I was still going to worry about that. Mm-hmm. We got home, it was a thing for Ashley. Of course, she went into panic and ripped it open and was informing her that she might be eligible for some kind of a program.
Yeah. I got the same one. It's for I did the same thing.
Yeah. So I try to stay away from it. If I can divert, be of service or whatever, or try to do something to occupy my brain. That's how I work through it.
Yeah. I want to comment on this because there's one thing that everybody has said in common. And I'll say what we didn't say. We never said let it go, because that's not what you do in this situation. We can't let our emotions go like we would a situation or the actions of another person. Our own emotions, and I thank you, Bren, for putting it this way. She gives her time to sit with it. If you're angry, this is what my mom suggested to me. She said, Deanna, if you're angry about something, be angry about it for 10 minutes and then move on.
Yeah.
Right. But there was a key that everybody said. They said, first, I face it, I accept it for what it is, and then I do something different. Right? Because when I used to be in self-pity, when I choose to be in self, you know what I do? I seek out other people, because misery loves what? Company. Well, none of my friends do that shit.
Pen and paper.
Yeah, my self-pity is not going to last that long if I talk to my friends. What were you getting ready to say, Clara?
Oh, pen and paper is, those PPs, pause and pray, pen and paper, posture, prioritize. I guess the slogans too. I mean, like Daryl was saying, this too shall pass. Pity is my sponsor always tells me, she says, pour me, Clara, pour me another drink.
Pour me another drink.
Yeah. If you sit in it too long, you're just cooking yourself into planning a relapse before you even know it.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that's scary for me still is, am I planning a relapse? Am I doing this because I'm messed up and I really just want to relapse? There was a time in my recovery that my sponsor would be like, will you just go drink? And I know that we shouldn't be saying those things in meetings, but our sponsors kind of say that shit to get us to click out of it, click out of it. Where the hell are you? Or at least that's what I experienced with her,
Yeah. I think when we get into the program and we start taking a look at a lot of this stuff, recognizing that it's happening is always a good sign. That usually means you're on the right route, because there's a lot of fear. Am I thoroughly following the path? Am I doing that? And there are indicators. Ask yourself questions. Am I lying to me? Is there any reason that I would want to go drink? And be honest with yourself. And that will kind of tell you. Another really good way to see if you're doing it, awesome. is go to the 3rd step promises, 9th step promises, and I'll do it now. We'll just go ahead and wrap up with that so everybody can get to their noon meeting. Is you take the 3rd step promises and you change you change the pronouns to I and me. So I'm going to read it and I'm going to do it. I'm going to change the pronouns. So instead of me just reading it, what happens is it creates a statement in my head. When I sincerely took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. I had a new employer, and being all powerful, he provided what I needed if I kept close to him and performed his work well. And what's going on in my mind right now is asking me, am I doing this? Is this happening? And it is. So I can move on, right? All right. Established on such a footing, I became less and less interested in myself. Oh, well, I'm doing it. I am thinking of other people. Yeah. See how it's like just reinforcing these good things. And I very much stole this from somebody else, but I always like to take it and go further because I'm an extremist and alcoholic. My little plans and desires, more and more, I became an interest in seeing what I could contribute to life. Now, when I say that to myself, all the things that I'm doing in my community pop into my head. I'm doing it. Now, it's hard to realize that this is you. It's hard. People fear the 10th step. They don't want to be sane. They will lose who they are. And that's a legitimate fear. It is. I know what that feels like. It's like, yeah, I'm an alcoholic, but at least I'm fucking something. You know, I'm not just some, you know, the gangbanger out there screwing with his community actually has more purpose than the kid sitting on his mother's couch in the basement playing video games. Okay. If you have no purpose, you're just going to be lost. Okay? And we got to have it. As I felt new power flow in, as I enjoyed peace of mind, as I discovered I could face life successful, as I became conscious of his presence, I began to lose my fear of today, tomorrow, and hereafter. Here's the big one. I was reborn. And you're going to have to accept it. It works really, really well. When that came up, I stole it immediately. All right. I used to call these DD Wows, which was Dion's Daly's Words of Wisdom. It was years ago. I don't know why that came. But do either of you have any words of wisdom before we wrap up?
You know, growth can also look like, you know, letting you assume wrongly about yourself and doing the next right thing and making sure that if you don't know what that is, the thing you do next is right.
You know, I tell people all the time, it's like, just be good to you today. Be kind to others always.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. You know, it's like whenever I post, it's usually I've got a peace, love, hope after that. It's, you know, trying to find the positive in whatever the situation is at the time. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the positive needs to be in between my own two ears.
Yeah.
That's generally the case.
Somewhere, you know. And this is the way I see it. It's got to start somewhere, and it's got to start with me.
You know, it's like if I'm having a bad day, there's nothing that you can do that's going to make it better. Yeah. If I'm having a good day, there's nothing that you can do to fuck it up.
Yeah.
And that is that's all about me. Yeah. I'm the one that has to have that perspective.
Yeah.
It's my business.
I was doing a little. I was kind of frustrated yesterday, and I was doing some stuff in the sunroom. And my wife asked me. She said, "Do you need any help?" And I said, "No, please don't, because I'm in a mood. I'll just yell at you, and I don't want to apologize to you." You know. Now I got over in about 15, 20 minutes, but I had to take care of it. It was not her fucking problem, and I wasn't going to. I was doing that to escape, so I could solve my shit. You know, But you know, because people they want to help. So, all right, we're gonna go out with find a little bit of Finding Nemo. So
I love the Kermit song. I gotta say it out loud. I'm sorry. I sent that to like 5
well,
people.
there's so many songs about it. I had to put it up. I'm like, you know, that's an appropriate song for the meeting. So just keep swimming.
Yes.
If Dora could do it in escape, we can too. Yes, I say escape. Don't hold your breath for too long. I don't want you to pass out. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it.
Peace.
At the end here. I love you.
Love is.
Peace out. And where's my camera? And